So Invincible Season 2 is over, and wow, what a season. Also, spoiler warning for the show and the comics, just so you know. Alright, first, I feel like we gotta talk about that 3-month hiatus. I won't get too deep into this, but I thought it was pretty scummy they waited to release the second half of the season as soon as ads were implemented in the Prime Video. But they gotta make their money, so can you really blame them? But I bring this up because I decided to binge the entire Invincible comic series, and I gotta say, it's one of the best pieces of media I've read, ever. And so far, the show has been doing a pretty damn good job at interpreting it. However, while they don't necessarily change what happens most of the time, they tend to change when stuff happens. For example, the events of the Season 2 finale in the show happens way earlier in the comics. It happens shortly after the Viltrumites attack Thraxa and capture Nolan, and then everything after is with the Lizard League and the Sequids and Anissa. And to be honest, I think I'm slightly liking the comic a bit more. I don't know what it is, honestly. Maybe just knowing what happens taints the way I view the show now. But I was enjoying episodes 5 and 6, which were in the second half of the season after I read everything. And in fact, I thought episodes 4 through 6 was the strongest point of the season. And while I liked the finale, I was slightly disappointed. Okay, let me explain. I'll mainly just talk about the finale because I don't want this to be a whole season retrospective. I might do that in another video alongside the first season, so let me know if you want to see that. But to make a long story short, watch the show if you haven't already. Just this season, characters get amazing character development like Donald and Rexplode. It's good, just trust me, go watch it. So the finale, overall, I think it's good. Like I said before, I thought episodes 4 through 6 were the highlight, but I still like this finale. I think I should bring up I thought season 1 was probably just a little bit stronger. That Omni-Man stuff was really compelling, and I still think episode 8 of season 1 is still the best episode in the whole show. Like, the first season was about everyone finding out who Omni-Man really was, and I just found that a little bit more entertaining than the stuff they had going on this season. It feels like they had a lot going on and a lot to cover, as opposed to just how compact and complete the first season felt. And I didn't read the comics during season 1, so maybe just not knowing what happened made those moments hit a little bit harder for me. I can't think of a single scene except for like maybe 1 or 2 that can compete with this. Or this.
Maybe this time you'll learn.
Or that.
You want to die for this planet? Fine! What's 17 more years?
Yeah, I think you get the point. I don't know, let me know how you reacted to everything during season 2. So the season finale basically picks up right where the last episode left off. Mark goes to save his mother, and the tension is done so well. Despite knowing what happens, I still felt super tense when Angstrom threw around Oliver. And this is a good time to bring up the voice acting. Steven Yeun as Invincible, and even every other character in the show, seems to put their all into their voices. And I really appreciate that. It really helps the intensity and realism of these scenes. It's even nice to see characters who don't get that many scenes have great voice actors too, like Cecil. Also, we need to appreciate the soundtrack because it adds so much more to some of these scenes. So they pretty much do all the multiverse hopping stuff exactly how it was done in the comics. Except they changed when Spider-Man showed up, which was certainly a bummer, but I'm sure that's a whole legal thing, so who knows. They go into a talking dinosaur world, the Walking Dead universe, Fortnite.
That's all, let me see the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, and even my boy Batman shows up, which I'm happy to see was ripped straight out of the comic, almost word for word. So that was nice. Also, I really liked how this made you feel for Angstrom. It shows a couple of other universes where Invincible lost it and took over, so you can kind of see where he's coming from. But he's still taking it way too far, of course. Everything here in the first 20 minutes is all really good. It's not on the same level as the Invincible and Omni-Man stuff from season 1, but it's still really good. When I say I'm slightly disappointed, that doesn't mean I disliked it. I was just expecting a bit more since the last half of the episode really hits the brakes. There's no major action or anything, just really a lot of character moments and stuff, which is arguably what this show does best. But no doubt it's just a lot slower. I mean, the season 1 finale just felt like the foot was on the gas pedal all the way the entire time. Like it was just non-stop, nuts to butts, crazy action. You see Robot and Monster Girl make up. Kate's been living through a clone the whole time. Mark and Eve talk some more after a future version of Eve told Mark that she loves him. Mark quits college because he simply can't and he just doesn't have the time with his hero life. Also, I'm not that big of a fan on how Invincible gets back to his dimension after the fight with Angstrom. And I'll say this, I don't dislike the animation in Invincible, but I really don't care for it. But I gotta say, the fight with Mark and Angstrom in this episode goes pretty friggin' hard. I think it hits a little bit harder in the comics, but I think that's just because that's the first time when I saw it. I don't know, again, let me know how you felt. So back to Mark getting saved. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. It's kind of believable. I believe Robot could do this, but it kind of removes the stakes just a little bit. Kind of when the whole Lizard League thing happened, nobody actually died. In the comics, however, Shrinking Ray gets eaten and doesn't come back. And with Donald being revived so many times, it's just like, can anyone really die? I mean, most of this is really good stuff, but just knowing we're probably gonna have to wait another 2 years for another season is just a little sad. But hey, we waited like 3 years for this season, so we can do it, guys. I honestly think it was a bit of a letdown because Invincible had such a strong season 1 finale, and now that I've read the comics and I already know what's gonna happen, I was really expecting the same impact I got from scenes like this.
What will you have after 500 years?
You, Dad. I still have you.
And again, I'm not dissing season 2 at all. If I had to rate this season, it's probably an easy 9 out of 10. Besides an episode or two I didn't really care for, I was hooked the entire season. Not as hooked as season 1 though. And now that I know how the entire story plays out, I don't know if you guys are ready for season 3. Also, fellow comic book nerds, please try not to spoil any character deaths or the ending or anything. I see a lot of people complaining about that on TikTok and whatnot. I get it, you guys want to talk about it because it's some good stuff, but don't ruin it for people. With the 144 chapters in the comic, the series will probably last for about 6 to 7 seasons, so we have a little bit of a way to go. Hopefully in the future, they'll extend the seasons to at least 10 episodes. I always found it a little weird how they only do 8 considering how much content is in this story. There's one more major multiversal cameo I'm really hoping they do, so let's not spoil that for anybody. I mean, let's be honest, we all knew some kind of Spider-Man related thing was gonna happen. They even showed Joss Keaton's name in the season 2 trailer. And I really hate spoilers myself, so I can see how some of you are frustrated with us comic nerds. So here's your warning, if you spoil anything in the comments or as a matter of fact just anywhere, I will find you, and you can't stop me. I know you're not. Okay, sorry about that. It wasn't very funny. Also, I'm super sorry for not uploading a long format video like this in forever. I've just been trying to figure out what to do with the channel in general. So if you guys want to let me know what you want to see down in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. I just recently played South Park Snow Day. I'm looking forward to the new Killer Clowns game coming out in June. And of course, Deadpool 3 is right around the corner. So just don't be shy to let me know what you want to see. And with that, have a wonderful day and thanks for watching, guys. Later.